Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to the live reading from Ramayana, the story of Lord Ram, compiled by Bhaktivikas Swami. We are reading Aranya Kanda at the moment, and we have covered up to where Ravan goes to Marich, the son of Tadka, after losing Khar and Dushan to Lord Ram and Lakshman. Lord Ram, with great shock and horror, Marich responded, "Whoever has given you this idea is your worst enemy in the guise of a friend, O Ravan. If you try to carry out this foolish plan, it will only result in your destruction, for Ram has unconceivable prowess on the level of Lord Vishnu himself. Ram is like a fathomless ocean. Crocodiles are his bow and whirlpools are his mighty arms. The releasing of his arrows is like the constant flowing of waves. The span of the ocean from shore to shore is the battlefield wherein his enemies drown. O King of Rakshasas, it would be far better for you to control your wrath and return to Lanka. Enjoy yourself there along with your wives and let Ram enjoy with his wife in the Dandakaranya forest. Otherwise, you will bring disaster down upon your head." So Marich gave a sound advice to Ravan. Obviously, Marich knew the powers of Lord Ram and he realized who Lord Ram was. Taking Marich's advice, Ravan returned to his magnificent palace at Lanka. Meanwhile, Shurpanakha, having witnessed the slaughter of all the Rakshasas, will try to carry on. Yes, it's come back. Now, Shurpanakha, after having seen the slaughter of all the Rakshasas at Janasthan, went to Lanka to see her brother Ravan. Ravan had 10 heads and 20 arms, and his body bore many scars from former conflicts, including those inflicted by Lord Vishnu Sudarshan Chakra. Once Ravan had attacked Bhogavati, the capital of the Nagas. After defeating the serpents Vasuki and Takshak, he took away Takshak's wife by force. After conquering Kuber, Ravan took possession of his Pushpak chariot. Then, simply out of spite, he destroyed some of the heavenly gardens. Long ago, Ravan had performed severe austerities, and at the end of 10,000 years, he began offering his 10 heads in sacrifice to Lord Brahma. Being pleased with Ravan, Lord Brahma awarded him with immunity from the death at the hands of all living creatures except human beings. After receiving this benediction, the puffed-up Ravan began killing Brahmanas and disrupting their sacrifices. Thus, he became a thorn in the side of the demigods, who fervently pray to Lord Vishnu for his destruction. Ravan was seated on an ornate golden throne within his 7-story palace when Shurpanakha came into his presence and revealed her disfigured face. Greatly agitated, she said, "My dear brother, are you so absorbed in sense gratification that you fail to recognize the grave danger at hand when the king is only interested in his vulgar enjoyment and doesn't pay attention to state affairs? Everyone comes to despise him. Haven't your spies reported how Ram single-handedly slaughtered 14,000 Rakshasas at Janasthan, including your 2 brothers? You are a useless king, and I predict that you will not remain on the throne for long." Ravan became inflamed by the prodding from his sister, especially as she did it in front of his ministers. Barely controlling his anger, he inquired from her, "Who is this Ram, and what is his strength? Was it he that deformed you like this? Speak now, for I want to know everything." She replied, "With his long powerful arms and large eyes shaped like lotus petals, Ram appeared to be the god of love himself. His complexion has a dark greenish blue hue, and he is strongly built like a lion. His bow is as effulgent as a rainbow, and when he stretches it to full length, he shoots golden arrows that resemble venomous snakes, releasing them so fast that you can't tell whether he is pulling out of the arrow or shooting it. Although he is the most heroic Kshatriya, he has dressed himself in tree bark and deer skin, and he keeps matted hair. He killed the entire army of Rakshasas at Janasthan with a volley of arrows. He has such exceptional strength that he has even subdued Kar and Dushan. I'm sure he could divert the current of a river or bring down the stars and planets from the heavens. Ram's younger brother is Lakshman, and he was the one who cut off my nose and ears under his elder brother's instruction. The wife of Ram is named Sita, and she is exactly like the goddess of fortune. She has large dark eyes, and the beauty of her face surpasses that of many, many moons. Her smooth skin is the color of molten gold, and her slim waist, graceful hips, and full breasts make her incomparably beautiful. O Ravan, there is no other woman like Sita. If you were to see her, you would fall madly in love, for she would make a perfect wife for you. When he heard about the lovely Sita, Ravan became fully determined to possess her. He again mounted his chariot, and after crossing the sea, went to the ashram of Marich, who was dressed like a rishi, engaged in performing austerities. Marich inquired from Ravan respectfully, "O king, what is the reason for your early return to my residence?" Ravan replied, "After hearing of Ram slaughtering the Rakshasas at Janasthan, I have not found a moment's peace. I have, therefore, made up my mind to kidnap Sita, and I want you to help me. To this end, I have devised a very clever plan. I want you to take the form of a golden deer, freckled with silver spots. Afterwards, go out into the forest and play in front of Sita. She will surely become captivated by such a wonderful creature and desire to have it as a pet. After you prance playfully before her, lead Ram astray. Once you have done this, I will come and kidnap her, taking Sita back to Lanka. Thereafter, when Ram becomes aggrieved and emaciated due to separation from his beloved wife, I will easily be able to slay him." Upon hearing the name of Ram, Marich became greatly fearful. His mouth dried up, and staring with unblinking eyes, he addressed Ravan with folded hands. "O Lord, if you try to carry out this plan, it surely will cause the destruction of all the Rakshasas and your kingdom of Lanka. Because of your lusty nature and ignorance of Ram's prowess, you are foolishly rushing toward your own doom. Because hear from me of Ram's supreme potency before you act blindly and bring about your own destruction. Previously, I used to wander about the earth, club in the hand, feeling very proud of my superhuman strength. I subsisted upon the flesh of rishis in the Dandakaranya forest. Out of fear, Vishwamitra approached King Dashrath to solicit Ram's help for protecting his sacrificial performances. Thereafter, while Ram guarded Vishwamitra's sacrificial arena, I ignorantly went there with the intention of disrupting the proceedings. However, with just one arrow, Ram hurled me 800 miles into the ocean." So Marich has experienced the strength of Lord Ram, and he is trying to convince Ravan about it. "When I regained consciousness, having thus been spared by Ram, I returned to Lanka, but was still not cured of my false pride. Taking the form of a large carnivorous stag with a flaming tongue, I returned to the Dandakaranya forest and roamed about drinking the blood of the rishis. As it happened, I again came upon Ram, who was wandering in the Dandakaranya forest with Lakshman and Sita. With the bitter memory of my past defeat in my mind, and considering a life of renunciation, I was determined to gain revenge. However, when I rushed at him, Ram released 3 arrows. 2 of my companions were killed instantly, and I fled for my life. I think my life was spared only because Ram's arrows do not kill one who flees from the battlefield." Because, yes, Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Ever since that time, I have been consumed with the fear of Rama. As a result, My inclination for violence and fighting has vanished. Having given up all the malice toward others, I have taken to an ascetic life of yoga practice. However, I have failed to obtain peace of mind, for whenever I happen to glance upon a tree, I think that is Ram dressed in tree bark. Thus, the entire forest appears to have become transformed into innumerable Rams because of this. Whenever I look anywhere, I become terrified. Sometimes I see Ram in my dreams, and I immediately wake up, my heart thumping in terror. Indeed, I have become so afraid of Ram that whenever I hear a word beginning with the letter R, such as Ratha or Ratna, my heart trembles with fear. O king, for your own welfare as well as for mine, I advise you to forget kidnapping Sita. Aside from fearing Ram, why should you perform such a sinful act? There is no offense more punishable than the abduction of another's wife. Ram, remain satisfied with your thousands of wives and save your dignity, fortune, kingdom, and life itself. Having listened patiently, Ravan replied, Now you must listen, Marich. I did not come for your advice. I came to obtain your help in executing my plan to kidnap Sita. As my minister, it is your duty to give advice only when asked and to obey my orders without question. I have made up my mind and nothing can deter me. I want you to take the form of a deer to charm Sita. Then when she begs Ram to capture you, lead him deep into the forest and call out, O Sita, O Lakshman. When he thinks that his brother is in difficulty, Lakshman will leave Sita aside to go help him. Just perform this small service and in return I will reward you with half of my kingdom. However, if you refuse, then I shall kill you myself this very day. It is your choice. You may take certain death at my hands or possible death at the hand of Ram. Make up your mind. Marich, however, boldly declared, Flatterers are quite easy to come by, my lord. Rare is that person who will speak unpleasant words for the benefit of others. A minister should always give good advice, even if uncalled for, especially when the king is misguided. Unfortunately, however, one who is about to die is never willing to take good advice. O king, if we carry out your plan, I am certain that both of us will end up dead. Still, I would rather die at the hands of an exalted enemy on the battlefield than be killed by you here. Therefore, let us depart at once. Ravan was pleased that Marich saw the wisdom of his ultimatum. He embraced him and they mounted Ravan's aerial chariot and departed. After flying over numerous forests, rivers, towns and fields, they landed in the Dandakaranya forest near where Ram, Sita, Lakshman were residing. Upon descending from the chariot, Marich immediately transformed himself into a beautiful deer. Then going to the Ram's cottage, he began to prance playfully to and fro. Marich's deer form had numerous jewel-like silver spots with the tips of his horns appearing like sapphires. Its mouth appeared like a pinkish lotus flower, its tail like a rainbow, and its ears were bright blue. Indeed, the magical deer appeared to have been constructed from many varieties of valuable jewels. With a dazzling luster, the deer seemed to illuminate the entire area surrounding the cottage. Sometimes it nibbled at the grass and sometimes it frolicked among the trees. At that time, Sita was gathering flowers. Seeing her, Marich, in the form of deer, leapt, ran, crouched, and turned, eager to attract her attention. All the other deer in the area fled away on catching the scent of the disguised Rakshas. The magical deer came close to Sita and bounded in front of her. She became captivated with wonder and enchantment, for she had never seen such a wonderful deer. With open wide eyes, she called out, O Ram, O Lakshman, come quickly. As Sita stood with eyes fixed, Ram and Lakshman also beheld the magical deer. Lakshman, however, was wary. This might be a trick, he said. The Rakshas Marich is known to take such animal forms just to entice and waylay kings who come to forest to hunt. Sita interrupted. Lakshman, for her intelligence had already become deluded by watching the magical deer created by Rakshas's mystical prowess. O Ram, she said, please catch this deer, for it has caught my fancy. Such a deer would make a lovely pet for me and provide a welcome diversion from our dreary forest existence. Please go quickly and catch this deer. I will take it back with us when we return to Ayodhya at the end of our exile. Surely it will delight Bharat and our mothers. Please, Ram, I want so much to have it to play with. It is so lovely and its smooth skin shines like the moon. Oh, my husband, if you cannot capture it alive, at least find and kill it so that I may have its beautiful jewel-like hide for a rug. Perhaps you think me a foolish woman, but I must have this deer. I have become completely enchanted by its beauty. Ram was delighted to have the chance to fulfill Sita's desire, and he too was captivated by the mysterious beauty. He told Lakshman, Sita is enthralled with this deer and I must bring it for her. Look at its tongue which darts like a flame or lightning from a cloud. Now, nowhere is such deer to be found. Not even in the heavenly gardens. This deer's splendor will cost it its life. It will make a carpet of its spotted golden skin, so Sita and I can enjoy sitting together upon it. And if, as you say, the deer is actually Marich, then killing it will be beneficial for the rishis and that reside in this forest. O Lakshman, stay here with bow in hand, until I return. Keep a careful watch over Sita. Ram took up the sword, bow, and two quivers, whereupon Marich suddenly vanished from sight. As Ram entered the forest, the deer once again came into view, then ran swiftly, while frequently looking backwards. Again the deer came close to Ram, as if tempting him to capture it. As Ram rushed towards the deer, however, it disappeared from sight. In this way, Marich lured Ram far away from his cottage. Confused by the deer's puzzling movements, Ram felt helpless and frustrated. Finally, feeling exhausted from the chase, Ram rested for a while beneath a tree. Once again, the deer suddenly appeared close by. However, just when Ram rose up to capture it, the deer mysteriously vanished. Out of frustration, Ram gave up the idea of trying to capture it alive. Then it next appeared at some distance. Ram pulled out a blazing arrow of Lord Rama and released it to kill the deer. Marich jumped high, trying to avoid Ram's arrow, but it pierced his heart nonetheless. As Marich fell to the ground, mortally wounded, he assumed his real form as a Rakshas. Then, remembering Ravan's instructions, Marich imitated Ram's voice and called out in great distress, O Sita, O Lakshman. Marich then gave up his life. Upon hearing his call, Ram became dejected, wondering what will Sita and Lakshman think. A terrible fear entered Ram's heart, and he rushed back to his cottage. Meanwhile, when Sita heard the voice of Marich, she thought that Ram was crying out for help. In panic, she turned to Lakshman, urging, Go quickly to Ram and find out what has happened. That was Ram crying out for help. He needs you, O Lakshman. My heart is throbbing and I can hardly breathe. I think Rakshasas must have overwhelmed Ram. With Ram's order to guard Sita firmly in mind, Lakshman did not move away. His seemingly indifference upset Sita even more, impelling her to chastise Lakshman with harsh words. Why do you just stand there? Do you want Ram to die? It has now become evident that you are merely the enemy of your elder brother in the guise of a friend. I think you wish Ram to die so you may enjoy me as you like. Otherwise, you would surely rush to his rescue. Go quickly, Lakshman. What is the use of me remaining alive and safe while my husband is in danger? As Sita sobbed and trembled with fear, Lakshman replied, Try to control yourself. Rest assured, no one can ever harm Ram, even the Rakshas or Indra, nor all the demigods can harm him. I am convinced the voice you heard was the conjuring trick of Marich, made to frighten us. Ram has ordered me to protect you, therefore I must stay here and obey him. Sita was by now almost deranged with anxiety, and Lakshman's words only aroused her anger. Her eyes red with rage, she raved, Oh, you shameless and wicked man, I think you are enjoying Ram's misfortune. Otherwise, why would you speak so casually? You have only been pretending to be a brother's humble servant. The real reason you have accompanied Ram to the forest was to look an opportunity to kill him and fulfill your lusty desires. Perhaps you are Bharat's agent. In any case, you will never obtain the fulfillment of a sinful desire. Do you really think I would accept you after having been the wife of lotus-eyed Ram? I would rather die indeed without Ram. I could not bear to live for a moment. Sita's word pierced Lakshman's heart as if they were sharp arrows. With folded hands, the horrified Lakshman said, O Prince of Mithila, you are like a deity to me, I cannot speak harshly in reply. I know that it is the nature of women to create trouble and discord between friends. Indeed, women are so fickle and hard-hearted that when they become obsessed with some desire, they give up all sense morality. O daughter of King Janak, you have goaded me with your sharp words. Now I will have to go to Ram as you demand, however, because I see terrible omens foreboding great evil. I fear that when I return with Ram, we will no longer find you here. With great agitation, Sita said, if Ram is killed, then I will jump off the cliff, drown myself, or take poison. I would rather die than be touched by another man. Inflamed with rage by Sita's harsh words, Lakshman was torn between duty and his inner desire to see Ram. Thus, as Sita continued to malign him, Lakshman reluctantly departed, allowing Ravan his eagerly awaited opportunity. Dressed in saffron cloth, his hair tied in a knot on top of his head, wearing wooden sandals and carrying an umbrella over his right shoulder and a staff and water pot in his left hand, Ravan came before Sita in the guise of a wandering mendicant. Sitting inside her cottage, Sita was crying, shedding tears of grief in Ram's absence as Ravan appeared at her doorway. Out of fear, the wind ceased blowing, the leaves on the trees in the forest stopped fluttering, and the waters of the Godavari became hushed. While chanting Vedic mantras, Ravan approached Sita. As he stared at her, his heart became pierced by Cupid's arrows. Then, hoping to charm her, he spoke to her. Who are you, O lovely lady, residing alone within this terrible forest? Are you the goddess of modesty? Re, the goddess of fame? Goddess of fame? Kirti, the goddess of mystic powers? Bhuti, the goddess of love? Rati, perhaps you are Lakshmi yourself. Now, bereft of your lotus flower, your smooth white teeth are like a row of jasmine buds, and your dark eyes resemble two bumblebees that hover over your lotus-like face. Your thighs are tapered and graceful like the trunks of an elephant. Your hips are rounded like an ample. Your firm, abundant body and beneath a waist so slim that a thumb and index finger can circle it perfectly. No mortal or celestial woman can equal in beauty, which has ravished my heart like a swelling river that floods in banks. O dark-eyed lady, why do you remain here when you could prosper elsewhere? You should reside in a palace adorned with the finest dresses and jewels, attended by countless servants. Are you the wife of one of the Rudras, Maruts, or Vasus? O sweet smiling one, choose a worthy husband and leave this jungle that abounds with ferocious animals. Even though addressed so boldly, Sita offered her guest a proper reception, not wishing to offend a Brahman. After offering him a seat and water to wash his feet, Sita gave the guest a meal and explained, Dear sir, my name is Sita, the daughter of noble-minded King Janak of Mithila. At the age of 9, I was married to my beloved husband Ram. Later, at the urging of his wife, my father-in-law King Dashrath installed her son Bharat as heir apparent and banishing Ram to the forest for 14 years. Please tell me your name and ancestry and why you have come to the Dandakaranya forest. No longer able to control his emotions, Ram excitedly said, I am Ravan, the king of Rakshasas. Even great demigods tremble at mere mention of my name. O faultless, beautiful one, now that I have seen you, I could never again take delight in my innumerable consorts. My dear Sita, become my principal queen. You shall have 5,000 maidservants awaiting your command. Leave this forest and enjoy with me in the beautiful gardens of Lanka. Hearing Ravan, Sita became enraged. She contemptuously replied, I am completely devoted to Ram, who is as steady as a rock, as grave as the ocean, and sheltering like a banyan tree. I am devoted to Ram, who is mighty armed and broad-chested, whose face resembles the full moon, and who is self-controlled and virtuous. Ram is a lion among men, and you are like a jackal, want to possess me like a lioness. Would you dare touch the sun or lift up the Mount Mandar Would you pierce your eyes with a needle or carry a blazing fire in your garment? Would you attempt to swim across the ocean with a boulder tied to your neck? Then why do you dare consider running away from Ram's wife? Ram is Garud and you are but a crow. Ram is the ocean and you are like a small puddle. Ram is nectar and you are a stale gruel. Ram is sandalwood and you are mud. Ram is gold and you are iron. Ram is swan and you are no better than a vulture. You may kidnap me, but as long as Ram lives, you could no more enjoy me than a fly that flounders in ghee. Although speaking boldly, Sita was shaking with fear. Thus, to further intimidate her, Ravan said, "Listen, my lovely lady, I am the half-brother of Kuber, the lord of wealth. After vanquishing him, I took away his pushpak chariot. Now he hides himself near Mount Kailash. The demigods are all afraid of me. And wherever I go, the sunshine becomes like moonshine, the wind calms itself, and rivers stop flowing. Forget Ram, for he is a mere mortal doomed to soon perish. Come with me and enjoy heavenly delights. I passionately yearn for you. Do not disappoint me." Sita then replied, "If you are truly Kuber's brother, then why do you act like with such wicked intentions? The ravisher of Indra's wife may survive, but whoever tries to molest me is doomed." Finally, Ravan lost all his patience. In a fit of rage, he revealed his gigantic form as a fierce Rakshas with 10 heads, 20 arms and sharp teeth. The king of Rakshas then declared, "If you wish to have a husband who is renowned throughout the 3 worlds, then accept me, serve me, and I shall never displease you. Why are you so fond of Ram, who has been banished to the forest?" Ravan then grabbed Sita by her hair with his left hand as if summoned. Ravan's golden chariot came close by, and placing his right hand upon her thigh, the king of Rakshas took the frightened Sita in his arms and ascended into the sky. As they ascended, Sita screamed out, "Ram, Ram, come and save me, punish this wretched Ravan." In desperation, Sita called out to the trees, the rivers, birds, animals, begging them to inform Ram that she had been abducted. Just then Sita saw Jatayu sleeping. While perched atop a tree, Sita called out to him, "Jatayu, please help me. Please go now and tell Ram that I have been kidnapped by the evil Ravan." Hearing Sita's cry, Jatayu awakened, and seeing how she was being roughly handled by Ravan, he challenged the king of the Rakshasas, saying, "O Ravan, I am Jatayu, the king of the vultures. How can you dare lay your hands on the wife of another? Beware, for you are carrying a poisonous snake in your arms. I am now 60,000 years old and without weapons, and you are young with many weapons, but I will not allow you to carry away Sita. I will warn you, give up your evil intentions, and else prepare to be thrown from a chariot like a ripe fruit falling from a tree." Thus challenged, Ravan angrily rushed towards Jatayu. As the fighting began, it appeared that the 2 great mountains were striking one another. Ravan threw many weapons at Jatayu, while the giant vulture gauged Ravan with his taloned feet. Although many powerful arrows pierced Jatayu, the sight of Sita carrying upon Ravan's chariot enabled him to tolerate the pain. Jatayu warded off with the onslaught of the arrows with his wings and managed to break Ravan's bow with his feet. Gaining this advantage, Jatayu quickly cut off Ravan's armor, and with his sharp claws he killed the mules yoked to the chariot. He smashed the chariot to pieces while simultaneously decapitating Ravan's driver with his beak. His chariot broken, Ravan fell to the ground while tightly clasping Sita in his arms. As they witnessed the wonderful display of prowess, all the creatures watching applauded Jatayu's valor. Okay, we'll continue from here onwards next time. And Ravan has started his part in the Ram Leela now, and we'll continue with this. Thanks for joining. Hare Krishna, and have a nice weekend, whatever is left now.